Television Nigerian, broadcast beyond boundaries.
By giving the big stories and also getting you well informed as regards issues making the rounds. And definitely we kickstart with our concerns for the day. I know you've got some concerns.
I truly have some concerns.
Nigerian concerns, I guess.
Exactly. That we can't take away the fact that we are here for the Nigerian people, and of course it's our responsibility to bring to you those things that bothers the average Nigerian on the street. Things like security, things like not having good road, things like traffic. We can't take away the traffic. Now, we used to think Lagos was the only place that has a lot of traffic, but the truth is it has come to Nigeria. And of course, it is in Abuja, and it is somewhere around Marabaya.
Yeah, lots of places all over the world, not just Nigeria, but everywhere you've got population and development taking place. Definitely you find those factors playing out. Today it's going to be very interesting. We're looking at INEC's plan to curb underage voting right here in Nigeria by using the whistleblowing policy. Do you think that's the right way to go? Do you think the whistleblowing policy has been successful in all aspects of the New York Metropolitan Opera has fired a long-time conductor over sexual misconduct. And also something interesting happening, the U.S. House panel has ended the interview phase of the Trump-Russia probe, and we've got the Republicans saying they couldn't find any evidence, but we've got top Democrats saying that's not true. So we'll be putting our eyes right there to see how that pounds out. And also from the African continent, we've got South Sudan saying we want to join the Arab League. The big question is, South Sudan, do they really know what they want? It's a big question. That's hopefully they'll be answering in the time to come.
That's what I'm concerned.
Yeah, so it's now time for us to give you the big stories making the news. You want to start from the foreign side?
Yes. Okay, so on the foreign side, we have 49 people were killed and 20 injured when a Bangladesh airliner crashed in Kathmandu.
Very sad story. Our heart goes out to the families of those who lost loved ones. We know that 40 plus people died and 20 injured. All right, the next story says a U.S. National Security Advisor has met with United Nations Security Council envoys as regards North Korea. A lot of issues around North Korea. We hope peace will be found.
Well, the main thing is that they are gearing towards peace, and that at least we've had something peaceful from that side, so it's a good one. All right, so New York Times says Saudis use coercion abuse to seize big
and US with the Trump controversy and all that, you see that the foreign relationship with both countries have not actually been cordial. But with this visit, we hope that at least we can forge a new partnership ahead, most especially with them coming in to assist us with the Boko Haram crisis, with basically the security situation. But I feel personally that the visit of the Secretary of State will actually forge a good relationship moving forward for us.
All right, finally on the Rex Tillerson visit, recently we had Rex Tillerson tell the African continent not to take China very serious in terms of the loans and investment coming from China. In as much as, yes, we know these two upper houses trying to hold sway. How strong do you think that message is going to be, and how strong do you think African countries are going to take that message and probably act on it?
Well, I want to believe that most African countries now are wiser and they know how to do business, you know. But what I feel for me is that it's just the normal power play, the super power play that we always see. But I feel that China have actually, penetrated the African continent with most of the developmental projects they are having. And don't forget that they are also part of the BRICS, and BRICS has South Africa as one of its members. So if you look at the collaboration with China and African countries, you see that they've actually gained more ground than US in terms of partnership, in terms of bilateral agreements, and in terms of sustainable development. And you also look at it that in the world of technology, they've invested a lot in the African continent. And there are hardly any country you go to, you won't see the footprint of China actually in the African continent.
Okay. Do you really think that Nigeria was listed among the countries for Rex to visit because of the comment that was made by President Trump?
Yeah, I feel so. You see, the truth is, no matter how you see Nigeria is actually a very powerful country. It's not a country you can toy with, most especially if you want to really gain ground with African countries. Nigeria plays a very, very key role, and I feel that they would have advised President Trump to say that, look, you need to actually, soften ground with Nigeria and make sure that you re-establish the relationship that both countries used to have. So I feel that he has listened to advice, but I also feel that, Trump is someone who cannot fully control cage. He will definitely make one or two comments, but they have people doing damage control, and that's exactly what Sheila is here to achieve.
All right, finally on the Rex, we've got China recently removing the limits for their president and vice president. Do you think that sends a very positive message to African countries looking at our relationship with China? The one China policy was muted and made Nigeria send Hong Kong out of the country based on China's push. How do you think that's?
I was smiling because I had this argument with my wife. The truth is, if you look at it, basically, there's an advantage to it and there's a disadvantage. The disadvantage is that we're trying to push democracy, for everybody to embrace. And in the African continent, a lot of presidents want to sit tight and they don't want to go the same thing with you. That's exactly what actually, orchestrated the Arab Spring that we saw sit tight in the presidents and all that. But if you look at it for me, I think I sort of like it because is the country doing well? Yes. And do you want a sustainable development? That also goes to tell us that the 8 years presidential system we practice in Nigeria needs to be looked into. Because if you look at it right now, we are in the wake of election again, and most of the economic activities will be grounded, whether we like it or not. They will be re-strategizing so either they can stay put in power or install someone else to be there. So for me, the China policy, I would say it's okay, because if you want to look at it, is democracy truly what we want, or is democracy the best system of government for us? We need to look at that, and analyze it in a very, very strategic manner. Most especially when you look at the concept of democracy being pushed to the Arab continent. Look at Libya, for instance. Libya has not had a stable government since Gaddafi was ousted from his seat, and that led to his eventual death. I feel that if you compare the Libya of Gaddafi and the Libya of now, people want to embrace the Libya of Gaddafi, and that's exactly what everybody wants. You see, one thing with the superpowers is that they don't like when an individual, it becomes a state actor and gain grounds and begin to gain ground not only in his country but in the continent that they belong. They don't actually like it. They really want to have total control of every economy.
Okay, in as much as I would like to you mentioned Gaddafi, and I would have loved to ask something on Nigeria's foreign policy, but time is on our side, so maybe we'll leave that for another day to talk about Nigeria's foreign policy. So let's move straight to INEC curbing underage voting using the whistle-blowing policy.
Yeah, for you, do you think that policy would work in terms of trying to curb underage voting, especially with what we saw in the 2015 general elections? Most critics did put their searchlight on the northern region where it was said it was massive underage voting.
Yeah, well, yes, it might work, it might not work actually. Yeah, if you ask me, because if the people who are actually going to be whistleblowing are actually benefiting from the output that voting will be given to them, I don't think anybody will go ahead to whistleblow, and most especially if they find out that you're the one who actually did that, you might not find it funny. So people will be scared because it's a very sensitive, situation. Nobody will want to actually put themselves there at the spot so that people can pick you out and say you are the one backstabbing them or you're the one selling them out. But for me, I feel it should go beyond just whistleblowing. We actually have not gotten the fundamental foundation of this country right. The structural background of this country is wrong, and I will tell you why. We don't have a central database. If you do have a central database, my daughter, the very first day my daughter was given birth to in France, for instance, she was issued her birth certificate and she was registered on their database. So anytime she goes to that country and they punch her name on the system, you could see the date that she was born, you could see where she was born, you could see where her parent comes from and all that. So we don't have that kind of data gathering in Nigeria. And if you have that, that would have actually solved the problem of underage voting, because by the time you move forward to register, they don't need to register, they just need to update your data. So when they put in your name on the database, they will see your date of birth and everything will pop out. So if we have this central system of monitoring ourselves, if you have this central system of investing in technology, you will see that a lot of things will be done rightly in Nigeria. And that's why I feel that I'm not like using this platform to campaign for young people, but I want to tell you that if you put a 40-year-old man, as the president of Nigeria, you can tell who the cabinet of, or who the cabinet will be like and the composition of his cabinet. There will be people who will be thinking forward rather than thinking backward, because they will be trying to put the foundation on ground where even if they cannot benefit, the kids coming will be able to benefit. But if you find out that we have a cycle of rotational leadership, whereby people just change hands, it doesn't matter which party you belong to. It's just the people moving from one party to another and all. So for me, we've not actually gotten it right from the outset, but we can still get it right if we'll actually stand up to it, if we'll tell ourselves the truth and we are honest to the fact that we actually want to make a change.
All right, ethnicity, religion, and poverty, those are some of the factors that has aided underage voting. Coming from the northern region and being a Muslim also, how critical is it going to be trying to fight that underage voting, especially from the northern part of the country, where it was said that it was heavily practiced in the 2015 general election? Is there a possibility it can be curbed?
Well, there's a possibility that can be curbed. We should go back to our institution of socialization. We should go back to the churches, the mosques, the schools again, and begin to inculcate, this ideal into our world when they are actually growing up, so they can grow up with the concept of doing the right thing. They can grow up with the concept of doing exactly what is expected of them. For me, when you say curbing it in the north, there were also evidences actually of underage voting in other parts of the country, but it wasn't as prominent as that of the North. But the truth is, the leadership of the North needs to look at this critically. And if evidences are actually brought forward, it could actually, frustrate, the presidential election, which is the general election that all the countries actually participate in. Not even the general election, even other elections like the gubernatorial election and the senatorial election, as the case may be. I feel that for us to actually stop these incessant cases after election, we need to look at this critically and ensure that we actually drum it into the ears of our kids in the North to ensure that they don't actually go out to vote when they are not of age. And if you talked about the ethnicity, we talked about the religion. For me, I see it more like economical. Because if most of those kids are in school, for instance, nobody will actually force them to go and vote. They actually have the conscience of their own. They actually have the decision of their own to make. Nobody can actually go to hold them to say, look, take this amount of money, go and register, and at the end of the day, we need your vote. So for me, education is critical, and that's why where I actually have a sort of agreement with everybody when he's trying to stamp it on everybody's face to say, look, we need to take the education of the North critical. Even the Emir of Kano said it, that look, education needs to be looked into. So you look at it that I see it more like an illiteracy, thing, because people can actually take advantage of your ignorance, and you could be swayed to do something that is wrong.
Okay, so you mentioned literacy, and of course, out there to do the voting, or someone else get this card for them and do the voting for them.
They actually, I think 2011, I was privy to we would actually have a miniature of the MRS machine that's actually more accurate, that can give you at least close to perfection what you want to achieve. That again goes to us investing in our education, because every little thing that we talk about goes down to technology. And at the end of the day, we are running to China, we are running to the West to actually get most of this equipment. And don't forget that these guys don't really want you to get it right, because as soon as they get it right, you begin to compete with them globally. So if we invest in our education, if we invest in power, if, for instance, if there's stable electricity, the kids in school, in university, will be able to invest their time in research and come up with, most of the solutions that we talked about. For instance, in the areas of election, in the area of medicine, in the area of road construction, in the area of power generation, they could actually discover, a lot of breakthroughs that can actually help us in advancing the cause of our economy.
Okay, talking about, let's shift away from education and technology. Now let's talk about poverty. Now, an average child or an average family who has not seen good food to eat, and is offered good amount of money. Like some people say, it's not empty belly that they use to solve problems. I have to satisfy her. And someone has not seen good food to eat, and is being offered certain amount of money and say, do this. Don't you think the person will jump at it? So it's not, don't you think it's not just about education now? It's about solving the poverty level.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand, just like what Fayose talks about, the stomach infrastructure. If you invest in the stomach infrastructure in Nigeria today, you definitely will be guaranteed for a lot of people who go to vote for you. And that, tells you the amount of hunger we have in the country. And why I always, use education as an example, you see, someone who is educated is enlightened. Someone who is educated at least is comfortable to some point, and wouldn't want to do something detrimental to their image, and they also want to protect that, concept of reputation. But then, yes, we need to address poverty. Even the homegrown food program that the government is doing is not sufficient enough. Because I was privy to some analysis where they say they only feed from primary 1 to primary 3, and from primary 4 to primary 6, they don't feed them. Now, you have two brothers who, one falls within the cadre of primary 1 to 3, the other one falls within the cadre of primary 4 to 6. And the one in primary 6, both of them come to school hungry. and he's seeing his younger brother eating and he's not eating, psychologically, that can actually dealt a lot of blow to his psyche. So, truthfully, from this analysis, if you look at it, we need to really address the position of poverty. If the best way to actually empower someone is giving the person the equipment to be able to secure their future, which I see as being educated, actually.
All right, as to wrap up this discourse, let's look at the last major issue as regards whistleblowing policy. We know that whistleblowing policy ends with the fact that whoever blows that whistle gets to be paid certain percentage. The challenge of the funds, bringing out these funds to pay whoever blows that whistle? Do you think INEC and federal governments can get around that? Is it going to be another major challenge? Because we know what happened in the last issue when federal government was about to pay off whistleblowers.
Yeah, you see, people first don't actually have confidence in the government, not to say INEC, which is an agency under the government. And aside from that, I also see some political opponents using this as a weapon to actually oppose or to fight, their oppositions. Because if you look at the complex situation of Nigeria, like I said, we've not actually gotten it right from the outset, and we want to introduce this concept. We always attack issues from the middle or from the top. We don't actually treat it from the bottom. And if we don't actually do that, we'll continue to have this recurring decimal of us trying to find solution to a problem where we are supposed to treat the symptoms of the problem rather than just looking at a way to quickly solve the situation and just sit. Political opponents, they are going to take advantage of it, and people don't really have confidence in the system, so that is a disadvantage to them. And like I said, if INEC truly want to invest in this venture, there should be like a research institute for INEC, whereby most of these things, you have 4 years for crying out loud to prepare for election. You would have, why now? Why did you start now? You understand? You would have done that earlier than now. So even if you require additional resources to support your solution, you can actually get it from government. And I also don't like this idea of government funding INEC. It's supposed to be an independent body, but it's actually dependent on government. So I feel that INEC should be independent of government funding.
Do you think this present INEC administration is going to be biased because of this issue you just raised, the funding part?
Yeah, it's not just this current INEC official, dated back to the previous officials we've had. The truth is there's a level of influence, whether directly or indirectly, that the current government will have over INEC. The truth, and I have to say it here, is that Jonathan didn't actually want to take advantage, of his position and the situation. If not, he would have turned the entire, game around in 2015. So we still need to commend him, taking that personal sacrifice to ensure that Nigeria remain peaceful and united. Other presidents who are actually greedy, who actually don't give a damn, they will definitely go beyond their boundaries and do whatever they want to do because the power is with them at that point in time. So I pray and I hope that we continue to have, such presidents who will think for the nation first and take the nation first before themselves.
All right, thank you so much, Issa Aliu Shatta, for discussing INEC's carbon underage voting using the whistle-blowing policy. That's so much we can take today on the show, Daybreak Nigeria. I must say, it has been a super amazing time.
Yeah, awesome, and we'll be going for another quick break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the big stories making the rounds right here in Nigeria. As we look at the papers, we've got the Daily Trust, and we've got the Punch and other newspapers for review. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Big story. We've got Ram Alamboye won't be in Russia, says the Super Eagles coach. Lalong Dalong in war of words, talking about statistics that the U.S. to back 110 Dapchi girls rescue. We will be sure to bring them back. The U.S. is committed to that. We've got empty streets protests as Buhari visits Benue. And we've got government Government alleges Genco's plan to disrupt power. Page 11 we get that big story. But let's look at Oshibajo saying that the Nigerian banks are not imparting on Nigerians, and we hope that what it means is that the banks will be motivated to do the needful. And it's positive news all the way from the US as they intend to back Nigeria to rescue the 110 Dapchi girls. And big story on the sporting scene. Raw releasing the list, so and Ajiboye will be there. You can find out who will be there on page 40 of the Nation's newspaper. You've got the next paper, let's go.
Yes, moving on to the Daily Trust this beautiful morning. A big story here. Federal government to negotiate release of Dapchi Chibok girls and riders here. Nigeria faces other threats aside Boko Haram. This is coming from the US, and that story continues on page 5. I think I agree with that statement. We have several threats apart from the Boko Haram and even apart from the Chibok girls issue. And also, from Benue, I reprimanded IGP quietly. This is coming from Buhari. You will find that story on page 3 of the Daily Trust. And on page 17, on electricity, federal government generation firms lock horns over payment. And on page 3, APC lawmakers sabotaging Buhari's government, Senator Adamu says. And on crime on page 26, robbers attack Kano NMPC staff, cut away 16 million naira.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's a big one. And they'll be saying we had a great walk. And on page 4, John.
Through its mind-blowing programs such as news, talk shows, entertainment, kiddies, documentaries,
Let's look at the last paper before we cut to a wrap. We've got the Sporting Life, and for football lovers all over the world, it's Champions League night as Roma takes on Shakhtar Donetsk. We've got Manchester United hosting Sevilla of Spain, and on tomorrow's fixtures we've got Barcelona taking on Chelsea. Very interesting matchup there. We've got Besiktas taking on Bayern Munich of Germany. These are the games for the Champions League. And we've got yesterday we've got Manchester City running away with the title, as it seems, after beating Stoke City 2-0, and David Silva of Spain scoring both goals. We've got Chelsea must be ready to suffer, says Conte, the Italian coach. Speaks there. We've got Manchester United versus Sevilla, Masia and Pogba fit for the Red Devils. And we've got Eagles provisional 35-man list out May 14th. So every Nigerian, wherever you are, watch out. The list of your darling Super Eagles heading to World Cup will be out May 14th. And then we've got 2018 World Cup. Nigerians will not accept failure. Week 12 NFF and Royal insists grass pitch stadia for the Nigerian Professional Football League matches. And Obu quits Kwara United as coach. Very, very sad story there. Those are the big stories making the rounds on the sporting arena, and you go out for your sporting live and you get those big stories.
Finally, on the Punch this morning, the big story here says, Punch, others from covering Paris Benue visit. You want to know this is 30 accounts of Jonathan's campaign director. You get on page 9. Viral video shows Ibadan railway contractor to work day, night. You will find that story on
Informed today with all the big stories making the rounds on the foreign scene, and right here in Nigeria.